Did you know that current VR hardware only provides head and hand data, making it difficult to accurately determine a VR avatar's forward direction? Most VR games just use the forward direction of the head for the avatars. This can result in unnatural shoulder placements, weird arm movements, and unexpected inventory slot or UI element positions. I invested a lot of time in finding a good solution that could serve as the building block for all other systems in my avatar. Hey, I'm Peter and welcome to my reality. When I started to create my avatar, my focus was on expression. I realized that I needed not only a wide range of expressions, but also a precise control over them. I found that the most effective way for me to achieve this was by focusing on creating an avatar in virtual reality that moves comfortably. I covered the details of this concept in a previous video. Another very important focus for my avatar was that I want the systems I develop and use for my avatar to be deliverable in games for as many people as possible, even if that would never happen. A good body foundation is crucial, and the key to achieving that is its forward direction. To begin, I researched what other VR games did, and I noticed that they typically use the head's forward direction as the body's forward direction. However, this approach causes the arms to move unnaturally as the head moves. This is particularly problematic for avatars like mine, where natural movement is essential. While connecting the body and head's rotation one-to-one may seem like it provides good control over the body, it actually limits the way you can use your head, removing essential control over your avatar. Therefore, I needed to find a way to separate the body rotation from the head rotation while maintaining control over both. One of the big problems with using the head forward direction as the body forward direction is that by looking around, I change the reachable area for my hands supported by my arms. This is extremely weird in virtual reality because my arms just have to support the alignment of my virtual and real hands. It's very easy to have a misalignment there with this simple solution, and that is unacceptable for a player. So I had an idea. If my forward rotation must support where my hands can reach, could I not use that knowledge in reverse and limit the range of motion for my shoulders based on where my hands need to reach? By knowing my shoulder limits, I would have an easier time approximating what the forward direction for my body should be. Well, it turns out that this is a lot more complicated than it sounds, and that it only really works if my arms are stretched completely to reach the hands. If they were not stretched, I still needed a separate algorithm to approximate the body's forward direction. Therefore, I quickly abandoned that idea. At that point in time, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to find a good enough solution for calculating the forward direction of my avatar. One evening, while lying in bed before falling asleep, I had an idea. We all have phones, right? Why couldn't I write an Android app that sends the gyroscope data to my Unity instance on my PC where my avatar runs, and then use that data for simple tracking of my hip? If I couldn't approximate a good enough forward direction for my avatar, I could at least develop an option to use an easily available tracking solution that I could also include in a game, and so I did. It worked really well until I noticed that the forward direction of my avatar changed weirdly over time. I learned that the smartphone gyroscopes drift, meaning their rotations change even when the smartphones are at rest. There are no good solutions for this, and I didn't want to start researching ways to minimize the drift of smartphone gyroscopes. Moreover, the extra setup step that I had to do every time I wanted to use my avatar in VR was quite tedious, especially since VR setups aren't typically quick. As a result, I often just used my fallback solutions that I still had to offer for anyone who doesn't have or doesn't want to use their Android phones. Once again, I needed a simple solution for approximating the forward direction of my avatar that works well enough most of the time without requiring multiple solutions. This time I tried to focus on finding the simplest solution I could come up with. It has to create a comfortable forward direction that serves all parts of my avatar. I looked at how my hand and head movements and rotations are connected to my upper body rotation. When my upper body rotates, my hands and head have to move and rotate naturally with it. So I thought about ways in which I could find the rotational information of my upper body inside the position and rotation information of my hands and head. At first, I tried to use the minimal rotation that was common in between my hands and head, but that didn't work well. So I experimented with using the average of all directions I had. I encountered a problem in my development when my hands were behind my back and I used the direction of my hands for my forward direction, which caused the forward direction of my body to flip around, which is not what happens in reality. To solve this, I moved the origin point from where I look at what is forward from the center of my body to behind my body. I noticed that by doing that, I could use a simple average of these new directions and get a decent forward direction. That was a pivotal moment in my development. By moving the origin point from which I create the directions to look at my hand and my head directions behind my body, I removed their individual impact on the resulting forward direction, but I kept their general influence on what is forward for my avatar intact. Now I am able to create a very accurate forward direction. The forward direction of my avatar is essential as a foundation for every other system that creates the rest of the movement of my body. They are all layered and dependent on this forward direction. My avatar would not look as good and would not be as expressive without this solution for approximating the forward direction. What I've not been able to test yet, but would love to explore in the future, is how a good avatar forward direction could solve problems in other common gaming areas. If you have played VR shooters with guns on your belt, you may have found yourself in a situation where you reached for your gun at your hip, but your virtual hip was rotated in a different way, causing you to grab air and get killed. A solution like this could help solve such issues in the future. Maybe I will also be able to achieve a good enough forward rotation to use it for locomotion. With stick movement in VR games, we often orient the forward movement direction after the hand or the head direction, both of which have their own problems and advantages. Having a solid option for using the body's forward direction for locomotion could possibly improve VR locomotion for some players. I would love to explore these problems in the future. Now we have a solid foundation for my avatar. In the next video, I will build further on this foundation and explore ways to reduce the stiffness of my avatar and bring its natural look to the next level. I hope you always find a way forward. Take care of yourself and thank you for watching.